Casino, Culture 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 Casino.
Saturday. I'm here, Walter. I'm here. I want to say thank you to Chris Dickerson. Look at this, right out the gate. Culture Casino. I saw Weatherman here. Bay State Observer. Greetings from the Boston area. Well, welcome. Gotta love Boston.
Culture Casino. Culture Casino.
This isn't a self-serving song or anything. Good morning, friends.
Culture Casino. Culture Casino.
You totally didn't put it on repeat for 3 hours last week. A lot of people do that. It's a great song. The Weatherman dropped a gifty. Thank you, Weatherman. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Let's get to it. Oh, bam. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope your days are extraordinary and wonderful. I hope your weekend is exceptional, and I hope you plan to go outside for a little while and enjoy the day. We're coming up on the end of summer, although in some places summer will last until October, but especially down south and most especially in Florida. But if you are like me and you like the sunshine and you like growy things, well, you need to look at what your planting calendar says and start planting stuff so that you have a great fall harvest. Hey, I'm here. I am bearded today. Bearded. That's right. And yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm vertical. It's true. It's true. I'm still suffering the effects of a barometric pressure migraine, and I had the most epic amount of uh, not sleeping ever. Yeah, it was weird. So I slept, I think, from about 4 until 6 this morning, which I don't usually sleep till 6. That's really late for me to get up. So it was a rough night. So it is what it is. Bay State's not a fan of fall. Well, don't trip. Terrible joke. I know, dad jokes in the morning. So I plan to enjoy the outdoors through my window. Well, that's fair enough. But it's good to see you all. Bill Blum. Walter, thank you for letting your cats share in today. Oh, the volume's a bit low. Okay. Is that better? Houston, hello. Is that better? They have to hug the mic. Anyway, I am speaking at a low volume. But yeah. Yeah. We got stuff going on. Let's see. Barton Bell is out there. Says Alabama. It lasts into November. Yikes sauce. That's a little rough. Then we have fall for about a month. Then winter, but hard winter hits in January, February. Yeah. Yeah. I really did enjoy Central Florida for a really long time in the winters. It was very enjoyable there. Rarely got cold enough to like put on pants. That's my kind of winter. But I'm intentionally relocating from the desert Southwest, which is where I am now, to the Tennessee vicinity of the country to enjoy all 4 seasons. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen that in a long time. So let's not talk about seasons or Brad Pitt's pair of pants, as Six suggested. Let's talk about something else. We got a lot of stories to get through. Plus, we've got our friends coming up next, the Salty Nerd podcast. They're going to be out there in about an hour and a half or so, hour and 40 minutes. So we want to give some runway to that and make sure you get a chance to visit with them because they have a great show on Saturdays with some of my favorite people. John the Beagle Dad is here. What's up, John? Good to see you. Got Chris Dickerson again with the generosity early on. And what else we got out there? Let's see. We got Jeff. Jeff Smith's out there. Says, so question to myself, wonder how the MSM mainstream D heads decide who is good for all access, no matter content made, i.e., Snoop is a big time producer of stuff. Yes. Yeah, he did produce a lot of stuff, but I think it's interesting that he shared his feelings on something that definitely could get him canceled in a lot of the circles he travels in. We'll get to that story. We'll get there. I thought that would catch some people's attention. It's a very strange story indeed. Hey, Joseph A's in the house. Good morning and hail to the Culturians indeed. Look at all the amazing Culturians here. And Snoop has produced great clouds of smoke. Yes. in cars and bars and studios. I mean, wasn't he with Mar and they had an epic like what's that Club Random? That's what that's called. Where it's just like whoo. I don't know if anybody walked out of that room. Anyway, my cat has to sit at the kitchen island on the chair next to me because he is a people. Just ask him. Yeah, some cats do believe they are people. All right, let's get to it because we got a story that I told you was going to happen. Anytime you have a merger or acquisition, especially the quote unquote merger of equals or any of those things, it's not equal. One culture is going to dominate, one leadership team is going to dominate, and you're going to have so many redundancies. You have to get rid of people, and that's not fun. I don't want anybody to lose their job. But it's a process, especially when you need to downsize something that's just way too big. Hey, JPS. Hey, Hampton. Good morning. And thank you to Mark Fields for the $2 make you holla culture cash, otherwise known as 199. And thank you for the positive vibes to you all indeed. I agree. Yeah, I was just wondering why some are good to go and some are maybe had a type of leaked and a persona non grata. Yeah, that I think that happens all the time. It's really weird if you think about how Paris Hilton became famous. I mean, you would think she'd be famous already for her enormous wealth that she didn't earn. But she became famous because of a leaked tape. And then that became all the rage. How to get what do you call it? How to get rich and famous? You get a tape leaked. All those things are true. Is Jill here? Did she make it? I hope so. There she is. Hey, good to see you, dear. And you're not late. Nobody's late, but I do miss you guys. I miss the wrenches. I miss the chat. I have the best chat wrenches on all the platforms. So, there's that. But anyway, let's move away from we'll get to Snoop, I promise, guys. It's gonna be one of the later stories though. Because the Disney related stories are ridiculous. And one of them you probably are familiar with now. Everybody's been talking about it, but I don't think they've been looking at it from my perspective. So we'll get to that. But let's talk about this first story. It's important. And it's again M&A all over it. Happens every time. Paramount job cuts are coming in November. That's going to save them about $2 billion by slashing staff. They've got a lot of redundancies. They've got a lot of dead properties. They've got productions that shouldn't be there anymore. They've got all the J.J. Abrams acolytes like Kurtzman, and many more that have been destroying things. And yet, from what's been leaked, J.J. Abrams is going to be involved with Star Trek and film projects now. That's a bad idea. They need to look through that contract and realize that contract is written for those films to put money in Abrams' pocket and nobody else's. And also legitimize any claim that he may feel he has to Star Trek as a franchise, because he shouldn't. The guy's done nothing but run the franchise into the ground. So, regardless, November's the month. So all the people who are getting ready better put money away for Christmas and any other holiday or vacation they have planned now. That works for Paramount, because I don't know if you're going to have a job anymore. This came down yesterday afternoon, and Skydance Paramount is pink slipping people in November. Deadline has been told by a myriad of sources that it's the dollar figure amount as far as job cuts go, not necessarily by head count, which means it makes sense to remove middle management because it's always overbloated. There's too many, too many people in the middle. There's also too many people at the top, but that's a different conversation. And organizationally, Paramount was too complicated for its own good. A lot of that was because of the recombination of, the film studios with the television studios. Had they not tried to, remerge the two entities that they broke apart, you'd still have Viacom. It would still be the thing that you could point to, as well. Some of this stuff needs to go. Be pretty easy that way, regardless. So it's not about headcount or any of that. Though the number of positions that are going to be eliminated across theatrical, streaming, linear, and all other divisions is expected to be between 2,500 and 3,000. That's a lot. Now, did I say 25,000? 2,500 and 3,000. There. How did I read that backwards? I don't know. I didn't sleep. It's probably it. But while it's been out there that the incoming Skydance team, led by David Ellison, has been working with Bain and Company to identify at least $2 billion in cost efficiencies, Ellison emphasized last week during Paramount's post-merger press conference that cost cutting is bound to exceed $2 billion, probably, and that's okay. Hey, Polly's here. What's up, Latino Slant? Good to see you, buddy. I know for a fact Paramount is slashing in every department from uh, top to bottom. They are counting pennies now. Of course they are. Yeah. And again, as I said early on, I'm sure Paulie told the folks over there on the slant that this was expected. This happens every time there's a merger or acquisition. It's always the other team, not yours, that takes the brunt of it. And I have a feeling everybody on the Paramount side is going to be trembling for good reason. But managers are submitting a list of dismissals to HR in September and October, on top of the the benefits that Bain and Company probably helped identify. This process always reminds me of that great movie, Office Space, when the two consultants come in. You always know they're there to evaluate if you're going to keep a job or not. That's what it is. So, hey, Carl Singh, good to see you. We do not want to be a company that has layoffs every quarter. This was something that they talked about. Jeff Shell talked about it extensively. So they're going to do it all at once to be done. That's it. One and done. That's their plan. Whether or not they'll be able to keep to that's a different conversation. But it's important for us to get done what we're doing in one big thing and then be done with it. This is his quote right here. And that should be it. And that's going to help friends. So, people that are in the industry that I still know, with whether or not they're going to keep their jobs. Now, Paramount counts 18,000 employees around the globe, while Skydance has a staff that's under 2,000. There's a massive difference there for reasons, though. I mean, the sheer volume of stuff that um, Paramount as a singular entity controls is pretty phenomenal. The new Paramount recently inked a major 7-year media rights agreement worth an average of 1.1 billion annually with TKO Group to become the exclusive home of all UFC events in the US starting in 2026. The company also hammered a multi-year exclusive theatrical and streaming deal with the Duffers, which was a huge win, a coup for them over Netflix. And again, I think Netflix is going to change their position on theatrical releases because of that immense loss, but that's just me. Just before the 8.4 billion acquisition of Paramount came together, the studio inked a 1.5 billion 5-year license deal with South Park co-creators Trey and Matt. So there's that. But this is not uncommon, folks. You're just going to hear about this over the coming months. This will continue to pop up here and there. Rumors will be there. And we'll get inklings and ideas of what's going to be gone, what's going to stay. We're even going to get material leaks beyond what we've heard already with Top Gun 3 and Star Trek. Latino Slant says my best friend runs a department at Skydance. That's awesome. That's awesome, Polly. I didn't know that. I'm glad you're feeling better, Joe. I really am. Hey, Matt G is here. What's up, Swift minus one? And let's see, Donovan's here. What's up? But this is a thing that happens every time. Every time there's a media merger or any merger, it doesn't matter what kind of corporation you operate, you're going to see this kind of thing regularly. So, um, but 2 billion is a big number. And if they're looking for those kind of efficiencies, they're trying to streamline this organization. I think headcount will probably fall by 3,000 people. So I am curious what uh, huh, cool. All right. Anyway. Da, da, da. Yeah, everybody's glad you're feeling better, Joe. You guys talking about the Bosch spinoff? Is that what you guys are talking about in the show? Anyway, doesn't matter. All I know is that we have more change coming than most people are prepared for because Paramount's not the only ones that's going to be doing layoffs. This new Versant group isn't cut down to the tight curlies yet. And I'm not sure whether that is going to happen under Comcast's watchful eye or if they're going to let the people with the new, I guess, spinoff make a decision. We'll see. Um, all I know is they pay too many of their people too much money in an area that is collapsing underneath their feet. PMS now is not a good place to spend money. And if you can't shake Mad Cow's contract, um, she's going to eat up a huge amount of your news gathering budget, and you're having to build an entire news gathering organization over there. So there's that. Hey, what's up, Snorty? Good to see you. Yeah. I'll get into the light beer conversation in a little while. Quite literally. Hey, Georgia Peach, good to see you. And Cosmin Cristani is in the house. That's right. Cosmin dropped a buck. Thank you, my friend, for the dollar make you holla Culture Casino cash. Good to see you. It's like every weekend I get to see you. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't think Maddow's going to be willing to willfully cut back her salary. We'll see. It's only like one I mean, really it's just one show a week for her now. She went back to Mondays only. And they put the little redheaded girl up there who everybody thinks is just imbecilic and untrustworthy. So there's that. Mikey, you know that's not true. You know that's not true. Weatherman's passing a kidney stone. My friend, I am so very sorry. Those are no fun. Very painful. So yikes. I I didn't understand one word of that. Okay. Untrustworthy. That's the whole network. It's true. But yeah, Matt Al literally went down to one from 5 days a week of work schedule, and I think she still gets at least 20 million. I think she already dropped her contract to 25 million last I remember, and she was only doing the first 100 days, 5 days a week, the first 100 days of Trump's presidency. So there's that. Walter Tomaszewski, what's up, my friend? Drops a super duper chat for 5 Culture Casino cash, saying Viacom also owned cable TV networks. Yes, but had to sell them. TCI, later AT&T Broadband, later Comcast, later Xfinity, bought their networks in '95. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. Telecom companies were combining with other communication studio types. That was all the rage. It's why it's like how all this stuff goes in cycles. The acquisitions and mergers, how they can build synergies for presentation purposes. They work briefly to some extent, but never really in the way that they had envisioned, which is why AT&T got rid of Time Warner after they acquired it. Warner Brothers Discovery was born out of a reverse Morris trust that was really dumping debt where it belonged in the Time Warner side of things. Man, Time Warner became a giant vacuum of debt. They just sucked up as much debt as they could find. It's bad, bad business. Hello to everybody on the Green Machine. I hope you're doing well, other than Weatherman, who's having a rough day. That's an ouchie. Big ouchie. Core member, what's up, buddy? Keep up with the memeage. It's great to see you. Let's see. Yeah, down from 25 million. Yeah. She's getting wrecked. I don't think she realizes just how hosed she is. But what I do know is this, that the box office is going to be performing exactly the way that it did last weekend. I have no doubts. In fact, there's only like a couple of new films out this weekend. One of them is a Dakota Johnson film. Hey, Paulie, did you see that one? Supposed to be some kind of a rom-com. She's also like either a director or producer or both on that, if I remember right. Need to go look it up because I really wanted to see it when I saw that she dropped another thing. I want to see if she still has some acting chops or no. Hey, Mark, what's going on? On the road today. If all goes well, the drive home will be in a new car. Well, I hope you have a good time with that, my friend. Always good. 20 million yearly for 1 day a week of propaganda. Yikes. Indeed. Big yikes. Big yikes. Yeah. If you don't pass it by, oh no, you don't want to go back. Oh, did they sonic wave you yet? Those ultrasonic blasts? You do all that? I don't know. Walter Tomaszewski says replaced that Viacom system in Seattle Monday. Oh, you did, or they did. Or are you talking about Xfinity? Yeah. I just always thought it was an interesting marriage between telecom and studio stuff. I always thought that was weird. It's just me. Anyway. Time Warner, Cable, Spectrum sucks. Optimum sucks. Are there really good cable companies nowadays? Carl, I don't think so. I don't think so. You have to fight them on internet all the time, too. No, Dakota Johnson did some kind of rom-com movie. I don't remember what it was, what the name was. That's what I'm struggling with because I guess I'll just look at the theater website, figure it out. I gotta go see something. I haven't seen anything in a bit. Hey, yeah, I think they are gonna launch a new firework barge. Yeah, it looks like it. They were stacking the tubes. So this one, I think the booster is gonna do a weird plunge dive and then do like a 180-degree turn to fire the rockets to slow. But instead of dropping it in the cradle, it sounds like they're going to be dropping it in the ocean. I don't really like that. Not a fan of it. I know they can recover it and such, but that seems dumb. Doesn't the ocean have salt and things? Seems corrosive to me. I think once you plant one of those in the ocean, they become less useful. I could be wrong. Last rodeo, not bad. That's right. That's Angel Studios that presented that. No, actually, Six. Believe it or not, I'm genuinely interested on if she still has acting chops because she certainly didn't get to put them on display in Madam Web. That was a terrible movie. The but the cult leader did a terrible vampire situation in Morbius, so could be worse. Let's see who's out there. Hey, John says, um, it's more testing. These ships are the last two blocks before, um, hang on, before they move on the newest version of their ship. Then we will see more. They want data. Yeah, I mean that's what Musk is about. That's why you've got all those Teslas out there. He had hundreds of thousands, millions of Teslas on the roads. He used all the data from those to build out the robo taxi um, brain, and then he's going to use those in combination with the Teslas on the road to build out more brain. So there's that. Honey, don't. Let's see. All right, I gotta get moving because we got more stories to get to. You guys are the best. I appreciate it. But let's talk about the weekend box office because this will be like a look forward in a way to just look at this one film that Variety focused on that I think is kind of the mark for what studios should be shooting for, and they're not regularly. And I'm talking specifically about Weapons. Zach Kreger's Weapons crossed 100 million in the domestic box office. That's pretty good. It's a good sign. This is a film that really is probably gonna make the studio a ton of money, absolute ton of money. Warner Brothers has had a lot of success with a lot of their films this year. Um, Weapons reached a milestone of over 100 million. So, uh, 17 school kids from the same class mysteriously all go missing in the middle of the night. This horror film of a sort, $100 million at domestic box office. It's a low budget horror film. These are the new paths forward. It's not like they never were before. Um, uh, and then it took 2 weeks for Weapons to reach 100.3 million. That's fast. It only cost 38 million to produce, and the movie had already made 72.3 million. So worldwide, 172.6 million. It very well could cross, as I predicted last weekend. I think I did. I think I dropped the video on Monday though. It could cross globally 200 million by the end of this coming weekend. That's wild. So this is an R-rated movie, following up on Sinners, which made 365 million worldwide. It's pretty wild if you think about it. Opened domestically to 48 million, but it had legs like you couldn't believe and a lot of acclaim. Hey, Leif Erikson is here. Siths and Giggles, what's up? Um, Regardless, it did really well. Warner Brothers has had a pretty decent run lately. In the Minecraft movie, of course, just under $1 billion. And then F1, which they released with Apple. And I have a feeling those partner deals, and I think Paulie was talking about this a while ago, are going to be something that happen regularly. And I know Tom's been mentioning that too. But you look at Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, which I thought was wonderful. Um, and then they had not the greatest run with Superman, but something that will establish the future. Hopefully, we'll see. Although I'm super not interested in Supergirl, so that'll be weird. And all of those have opened over 40 million at the box office. It's quite a bit better than their primary competitors. So, and at this point, Superman and F1 have both rounded the corner on 600 million worldwide, and Superman is claiming 599.6 million. It'll be over 600. It's not a big deal, and F1's sitting right there. So that's it. You could not have a better year when compared to competitors. You just can't. They think it's possible that Weapons could be dethroned this weekend with K-pop Demon Hunters. Maybe for the weekend, but not in the long run because it's not going to be in the theaters for long run. But K-pop Demon Hunters is doing great. It's highly acclaimed now. The people that are in the genre love it. And it's going to be hitting 1,700 theaters Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, it might displace it. I would say it will. The sing-along events are going to be something to behold, I imagine. And that music is very popular. But again, Barbarian was Krieger's directorial debut. That made 45.4 million worldwide from a $4.5 million budget. That's a really good rate of return. So I'm looking forward to the entire box office evaluation, which I'll probably do tomorrow, which means I'll probably drop it first thing Monday morning. But congratulations to Weapons. And I think it's going to spell out kind of the soft landing that the summer box office is experiencing. But I don't think we're going to exceed 100 million again. I think we'll have another down weekend again. Overall take at the box office. And that'll be sad. Very sad. And John the Beagle Dad mentions that F1 is still out in IMAX. That's true. You still find it on some large format screens. That's the best way to see it. If you're going to see it in the biggest possible, bestest way with the best sound you can, too, because there's a lot of great audio. Hey, born in Boston in the house. Miranda Lorzer is here. What's up? It's cold up in Canada. 31 degrees C. What is that in actual temperature? $87 degrees. It's okay. It's warm for you. It's not hot. Speaking of hot, our wonderful friend Scott Westbrook drops 5 Culture Casino memberships. That means Mladen Kafaliev. I'll get that someday. Grim, Jeff, Richard B, Fat Loba, and Not Another Dime. All got memberships. Thank you for that, Scott. You are the bestest. Yeah. Hugh Photographer received a gift membership from Scott Westbrook. How many did you give? I thought it was only 5. 10. Holy cow. Scott gives 10 Culture Casino memberships, not 5. I can't read. Look at that. All the gifties that are in the chat. And Keep It Real is in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, 87 is pretty lovely. Dr. Jill says, my ex-husband used to have those really bad headaches, migraines, kidney stones. Any of those are bad. My migraine's like, ugh. Snortopupus is snuffling. Yeah. All right, we got to get moving because we got a couple more stories I got to get through. Can I say it's really weird to hear Bill Maher say good things about the current administration? A man who has some pretty advanced case of TDS said something kind. I thought this story would be fun since we're going to be covering Snoop Dogg. Let's take a look at Bill Maher's praise of Donald Trump. This should be fun. Real-time Bill Maher teases Trump support over marijuana reclassification. That's right, little MJ says, finally, he got round to me. And there you go. As he covers in in his segments, he usually throws one out there to take a look at, something like this. And Trump says he's looking at or reclassifying marijuana at the federal level, which would kind of change the way a lot of operations are operating and the way a lot of this stuff is distributed. He's flirting with the idea of reclassifying it. Bill Maher appears to be done flirting with his support for the twice impeached president. Well, it's pretty easy to impeach people if you have a bunch of corrupt politicians, but that's beside the fact, and ready to commit. You see, on Friday's episode of Real Time, the comedian seemed to finally pledge his allegiance to the MAGA party, teasing that finally he got around to me with the announcement that he's considering following through on President Biden's push to reschedule cannabis as a less dangerous substance under federal law. He says, I told you so, he said during his New Rules segment. I have been telling Democrats for years the Republicans are going to steal the pot issue from you. And they did. They have been, to be fair. Maher said, what did you expect? He's the master at winning votes from small groups who are passionate about one issue, picking up a couple percent here, a couple there, until election night, it's YMCA. That's so true. What a great way to call it out. And he says, as he closing it out, Maher appeared to come out as one of those one-issue voters, comparing his support to black voters showing up for Trump in 2020. Did he win the black vote? Not even close, but he doubled what he got in 2020 in places like Philly, Detroit, Milwaukee. That was the difference. And now he's going to do it with pot. Finally, he got around to me. Following Biden administration's plans to reclassify marijuana, Trump said he should have a decision in the next few weeks, which would serve as a boost for the cannabis industry. As a co-owner of the West Hollywood Cannabis Lounge, The Woods, Maher would certainly benefit from that boost. Back in April, Maher swore he didn't go MAGA during his dinner at the White House with Trump and a mutual friend, Kid Rock. I don't know about that. Do you think Maher would actually flip? I mean, he's been trying to get the Democrats to do something, to come out for things and not against things. He's made fun of what little of their platform there is. I don't know. And do you think that they'll actually reclassify or reschedule marijuana? You think that could actually happen? That'd be strange. I know some friends might be enthusiastic and very excited. I don't understand. Do you think that's actually happening? Yeah, I mean, they're going to be employment, Brian with an I says. Um, this is going to be places that won't allow for it. There's some, people that think that, that you can't operate heavy equipment, let alone a vehicle. And there's conversations around all of that. And this is going to spark a conversation, but it's going to light up the issue as something that the federal government's actually paying attention to and not just kind of sitting aside. Because that's what's been happening for a long time. And again, there's solving problems the government doesn't seem interested in. I'm sorry, but I think that's true. And I'm not going to get on one side or the other of this particular thing. What I will say is this removes another wedge issue, the divide between the parties. One of the people who really reinforced the idea of wedge issues and things like that was Dick Morris when he was running stuff for the Clintons. You can look that up. And Dick Morris then went and switched sides. That happens. because the people that you were working for aren't listening to you. That gets frustrating. Um, so there's that. Keep It Real says, I'm in favor of medicinal cannabis. I'm allergic to opioids. I would be dead. I got so skinny. Yeah, some people just can't do that. There's certain narcotics that you can't touch. I'd really be interested in Six weighing in on this. So I'm going to be looking for her commentary in here. But Barry the Music Man saying hello to the culture crew. Man, I need to be drinking more coffee. Um, Bea Kasai. I hope I got your name properly pronounced. I had to read through the full chat to get context because I was sure I wasn't what I thought it was. Well, yeah, sorry about that. No, I can't. This is a straight edge human being, so I can't imagine the current occupant of the Oval partaking. Um, but the people around him, I mean, Elon probably had some effect on this conversation, and maybe some others. Maybe JD Vance is a little bit more uh, relaxed than we think. Don't know. I can't imagine anybody in Trump's family partaking of much of anything, if anything at all. It's a lot of straight edge people that don't touch anything at all. Yeah, no to being a wasteoid. Well, opioids will destroy your life. So those are bad things to get addicted to. Stay away from addictions, whatever you have, whatever kind they are. One of my pals here is 10 years sober if he's still in the chat. And good on him. Jan Monroe says Mar has a problem. He hasn't changed. But his party keeps changing so much that he can't stand them anymore. And that's it. I think that's the weird thing. It's like the Trump under the MAGA movement, right? Make America Great Again movement became a big tent. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I could agree with that. I don't really like that, but I could agree with that. I can get behind that. That makes sense." I'm not a fan of that. No, I really don't like taxes. I mean, it's like this really interesting conversation. And because the people are more open-minded, they're not uh, myopic. They don't have a singular vision. You don't have to walk in lockstep with anybody. Yeah. I mean, we had disagreements between the two primary people that, pushed MAGA over the top this year, Elon and Trump. And it seems like the fences are mended and they're probably being mended even more. I don't think they're adversaries. And I think it was good for Elon to call out uh, Trump about the Epstein stuff. So there's that. Hey, Putin's cat. Well, I mean, if it's a cash crop, it's just the problem is the yield's slow. Although that probably wouldn't be anything I would want to do. Um, I like my tomatoes, my peppers, my lettuce, my root vegetables like potatoes and things. Just me. I do speak very slowly. That is true. Try to get every word in. I want to emphasize the choice of vocabulary as well. So. Barton Bella says decriminalization for at home use is fine, but that's not what so many of these bills do. I don't want it to in public or driving or any of that. Sorry, that's that's as far as I'll budge. Look, I think that under the influence of anything um, is bad, especially when driving a car. I can't see a more larger compromise to safety if they don't keep the DUI aspects of the laws in place for any kind of mind altering. Six is for banning cigarettes. Well, there you go. We have mutual friend six that has a very bad habit. So, hey, Morgan King is here, the great one himself. Hope you're doing well. Vic, what's up, buddy? Says the government wanted cannabis legalized so they could tax it. Just another sin tax like what is on alcohol and cigarettes. True story. But, you know, the cigarette situation is even more criminal if you think about it going back in time and the fact that government didn't really truly regulate cigarettes or get interested in that until it was like the number one subject in women's magazines going back into the 40s and 50s. It's particularly the late 50s. Justin Towns, what's up? Never found one uh I couldn't, unfortunately. I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. Uh oh no, I was just trying to get your what you're taking away. You're not actually listening to me. I love you, Six. I love you. Yeah, Colorado's a complete mess, and I think that they're not a good standard to use, right? Um still got two of my brothers up there. So, um so I think they both sample from time to time, but yeah, it's not great, especially if you're snowboarding, man. Wasted people on snowboards is bad. Just gonna say. Not that I can do that much anymore. My knees are like, don't do this. Yeah. Yeah, and this is the other thing. It's not gonna change the standards that you have to live under with guidance. So if you have a CDL, commercial driver's license, anything like that, you're no company in their right mind is gonna let you, not get tested regular, especially when it's more legalized, I should say. I didn't realize Don Jr. was a fan of Colombian marching powder. Did not know that. Yeah, straight edge. Yeah, straight edge people. A lot. And this is a true story as well, Jan. Trump had an older brother who died of alcoholism. He talks quite openly about that. I think at the latest TPUSA event that I went to in the Western U.S. Um, um, I think that story was related, if not by him, by someone else. So it was interesting. Jillian H, hey there, how you doing? Five Culture Casino memberships right there. Thank you, Jillian. Very, very wonderful to see you. I'm going to start recording more Campione videos this week, so I'm going to send you an email. So there you go. Andy, look at this flag. Yeah, receiving one of those memberships. Love it. Raise them high, boys. Look at all the people getting these gifties. Oh, please tell me I'm saying this right. Biaja Kasai. Please tell me I'm saying that right. California messed up the legalization so much that dealers were able to up their prices and still be cheaper than the legal stuff. Shaking my head. Too much regulation. And this is some of the things that, Trump's been talking about, right? Deregulation and stuff like that. I just never thought we'd be looking at Bill Maher, um, getting on board. It's very strange. I want to say again, thank you, Jillian H. You are wonderful. Hopefully, I get to see you while I am doing some work with the Salty Nerd podcast on in the background because they're great. Maravita's like, breakfast was good. I like breakfast. Holy cow. This is SWG Rice in the house with 10 Culture Casino memberships. You know what? We've had two of these. We had Scott Westbrook drop 10, legend, and SWG Rice drop 10, legend. Speaking of legend, I haven't played any clips. Let's do a clip. We got a clip. I can say clip like 1,000 times. Clip. It didn't work.
Oh, man, that's some sweet cheddar. Guys. Yeah.
Well, thank you. At least it worked that time. I was just sitting there waiting for it to happen. Let's see. I'll be looking forward to it. I'm traveling Thursday. I don't know what the 38th is, but that's a date I'm unfamiliar with. I'm just kidding. I know you went the 28th until Friday. Okay, well it might be on Tuesday. So just keep your eyes out. Jaffo, great to see you, buddy. Look at all these wonderful people. We got new people here, old people here. We got Sander Hammerschlag here. We got Kenny Long here saying hi to all the Culturians. And of course, Snorta Poopascuber, the best of all polar bears, in my opinion. But we need to move on. Like you said, many stories, little time. This one's really interesting. I was wondering where Katee Sackhoff had gone. She kind of disappeared. And there's a reason. Didn't know this. According to Variety, she got lost in her role because she didn't understand it. I didn't understand it either. But Mandalorian star Katee Sackhoff basically didn't work for 3 years after Star Wars because she didn't understand her character. It broke me. This is the problem with Disney. Their stories are so messed up, and the rationale, reasoning, motivations are so misunderstood by everybody for why characters do what they do, that you're breaking actors and actresses. And, you would think that if anybody, Katee Sackhoff would be one of the most mentally strong out there. But Disney Minus managed to ruin her. And that's a shame. But Katee Sackhoff, who starred as Bo-Katan in the Star Wars show, has opened up about the struggles she had playing the character and finding work in the last few years. On a recent episode of her podcast, The Sackhoff Show, well, that's original, she discussed with her former Battlestar Galactica co-star, Tomo Penniket, how playing Bo-Katan on The Mandalorian dealt a blow to her confidence. I lost all my confidence after Mandalorian, all of it. I've always played 2 steps removed from myself in a sense. I've always felt grounded in some part of my belly of who I was, but Bo-Katan is nowhere near who I am as a human being. Her life, when she wants, I didn't understand her. As much as I understood her, I never felt her in my stomach. I never identified with her. I didn't know how to find her. My style of acting has always just been your first instinct is the right instinct. Do that, play the reality of the situation. And I've never really played a character. That's interesting. Sackhoff originated Bo-Katan in the animated series Star Wars The Clone Wars in the 2010s, then brought her to live action in season 2 of 2020. Her role as a fellow Mandalorian warrior was expanded in season 3, where she was upped to co-star with lead actor Pedro. I'm cast in everything, and Nobody Likes Me Anymore, Pascal. rather than continuing the story in a fourth season. Disney is releasing The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters next May. Maybe. Sackhoff has not announced as part of the cast. She said she struggled to get work in the 3 years following The Mandalorian Season 3, which released in 2023. It broke me. It just broke me. I started doubting everything about myself. I'm not a strong auditioner on tape, and I was having to put myself on tape. I wasn't booking anything, and for 3 years, I basically didn't work. And it just destroyed my confidence. That super sucks because she's really, really good. Since then, Sackhoff hired a new manager, acting coach, who told her, "My goal is not to teach you how to act. You know how to act. I just need to get you back in your belly. You just need to find your confidence again." In 2024, she appeared on an episode of Law and Order, plus some voice acting on animated series, and she's part of the cast of the upcoming Carrie series on Prime Video. So there's that. But yeah, Tomo Penniket, I think, is a very good actor. But it's a bummer. I mean, Disney breaks everything, including its actors and actresses. That's not a good. That's not a good thing. Let's try not to do that so much. Okay. Once again, thank you to SWG Vice and our friend Scott Westbrook for the gifties. Because look at all these people. Wild stuff. They have to find a way to test weed to determine if they're under the influence. I think they're going to. I mean, I think that's is all. I think the challenge for that is all going to make its way through the system. So 6 drinks, Diet Coke. Diet Coke is not the most bueno. John Campia videos. No, Campione is Campione Reacts channel is taking all the bad ideas from TikTok and talking about them. So yeah, I keep encouraging him to stop doing bad things, but struggle. It's a struggle. All right, I'm trying to catch up with you guys so we can talk about this. Thank you, Matt G. Sackhoff had a kid, and she does podcasts now. Yeah, she does a lot of them. I wonder if she's happier. I hope she is. I really do. Jaffo says, messed up Disney Pixar made Turning Red, which is basically hired a start of an only friends account. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think she needed more than therapy. I think she just needed to figure out how she was playing a character she didn't identify with, couldn't find. I mean, I can understand that. Like, what are the motivations for this character? Because they're all over the place. You just go look back at what Bo Katan was. Bo Katan was entirely different in an animated form than she ended up being in a live action form. So, very strange. Wait a minute. You were listening to her and then she got crazy woke? Huh. Didn't know that. That's a shame. Oh no, you're fine, Jeff. I'll decipher it. I'll figure it out. Lasher says some people just don't get sci-fi or fantasy. Sean Connery didn't understand Gandalf. Well, I can see that. I can see that. Ludo Laser, good morning. The Clown Wars. Kind of. Hollywood is so weird as someone with a normal job. I can't empathize with that. Well, you're trying to give your best performance to a character, and it's even I think at times probably more difficult for stage actors because you have to overemphasize everything, all your gestures, everything has to be so big because you're trying to convey everything that you're doing as nuanced as you can, but in as big a way that the people in the back of the room can see it, 27 rows away. It's hard. That's really, really hard. It's the same reason that, if you're in musicals and stuff like that, and you're cast to be in a singing performance, you have to really know how to project your voice and use belt tone and things like that. There's a lot more to stage acting than there is to on-screen acting, but it's still the same thing. Um, actors that act in big ways can act in small ways, and the nuanced performances can become um, spellbinding. I mean, there's people that can do that, but if you don't understand a character, if there's no clear reason why they do something, you're going to have hard time connecting with the character and even delivering it. So that's why you're always asking those questions. What's my motivation? Because it's not made plain in the character itself. Character descriptions sometimes can put motivations in there because you get background. And if you don't have background in it, you invent your own. That's the other thing you have to do as an actor is invent a background for your characters so that the performance you deliver makes sense. And that can be the difference between a successful character in a show or a film and one that's not. Whether or not you understood the actual and created something in your mind that would build why this person does what they do. So it comes down to those things, believe it or not. I think I'm going to have to replace one of the fans in the greenhouse. Well, research on the character before auditioning for the role. Well, I mean, she already had the role in the Clown Wars. Like I said, the character changed, or she was being directed to deliver the character differently in the live action show. I don't know. There is differences between voice acting and acting, but when you are voice acting, you're at least envisioning, if not actually witnessing, like animatics that give you something to work off of. So there's that. The thing I need to cut down on, everybody's talking about stuff because of the conversation with Mar and the legalization or reclassifying of marijuana. Um, I need to drink less coffee. That's it. Because otherwise, I just drink a lot of water like this. Glass or two of wine at dinner, perhaps. Sometimes I indulge in other things, but you know, I can take or leave just about anything. So water's just good. Katie got braggy about how she was being woke. Not for me. That's crazy. I'll have to look into that, Barry. Thank you for that. Hey, Gollum, what's up? Yep. So much so they riffed on it in 18. There you go. I like the new take on BSG, but I recently tried to rewatch by binging, and now that is super depressing. It is pretty depressing. That will definitely bum me out. Crazy. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man is here. What's up, buddy? Thank you, Jill, for promoting the big goals here. We do need to get to 50K. So if you're not subscribed to the channel you're watching currently, you've appreciated the live version of me because I make several videos a week. as well. If you like the live show, it's on, basically 6 days a week. We got the 6 Minute Daily Monday through Friday. And that's 3 days a week. That's probably about an hour long rather than the 6 minutes it originally started out to be. And then on Saturday, we do this about 15 minutes later and move forward from there. And usually I redirect you to another great show that will be following me. And Sunday, I don't do much, if anything at all, although that's changing. We will be bringing the Sunday late night show out of hiatus sometime in September once I talk with all the gang. So, pretty excited about bringing that show back. And you'll bring back some of the songs that some of you love because I know you want to know how it's going to feel. Thank you for being here, Lulu Laser. Have a great day. Why did you hold up an invisible glass? Well, this is water. I know that that's a bit disconcerting, but if it blends in with the with the with the screening effects, then it disappears. So that's I have cups that disappear when I drink out of them. It's just the way it is. Our good friend Archer Merchant says for 5 Culture Casino cash. Yes, Culturians. Archer Merchant is here. Here's another idea. As I pass time this morning, bringing back Urban as Dread. That's cool. Anthony Starr as Rico. Make it Banshee in Mega City 1. Fun show idea. Yeah. You have great ideas, my friend. Indeed. I know you drink a ton of 6. You are almost a pure human. As pure as they get. Not only that, she loves horses. So 6 is awesome. There are no flaws in Zardoz. Stop it. Okay. We need to get to 100K. Trust me. I don't know what you're talking about. You're the one that keeps the keys. I don't even remember any of the stuff now. It's been so long. I may not even be around by then. You don't know. Putin's is harsh today. Let's just cut to the chase. Katee is not the smartest person in the room. I like her, I'm assuming, in most of what she does, but she is more fluffy spiritual, blah, 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 than a rocket scientist. Probably true. Hey, Rhizosaurus. Is real life fake wizard your real life fake brother? Yes. That is the best question I've ever seen in my life. And real life fake wizard is pretty awesome. He's got a good channel. He's a good dude. Canadian Spider-Man. Nice. Wow. Nice going, Culture. I'm not there yet. We just barely got to 40K. It took way too long. I am not of the favored of the YouTube. The powers that be don't like me very much because occasionally I tell some gruesome truths that are they're unfortunate events for certain folks. What is that in 12-ounce increments? This, I believe, I think this is 16 ounces. I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to turn it upside down because the last time I did that, I flooded my keyboard, but I think it's 16 ounces. You know how many keyboards I've been through as a content creator? Like 5. That's not counting the ones I take with me on trips and with my laptop. This is just the ones that sit on my desk I destroy. Like every 4 to 6 months, it seems at times. All right, I'm getting caught up with you, and then we're moving on because we got more to get to. We got to get to that Snoop story. That's going to probably be the penultimate story because we might have one to follow. I want to talk bad about Disney, so I got to get two in. So you got Jan Monroe out there. How dare you two to get upset with you for having bear stories? That's right. They do not like bear stories. Bush Light. I would no. Why would I drink beers that no? Why? Now you're wasting calories on something that's garbage. Why would you do that? I've seen culture ruin keyboards, dude. I dumped the whole coffee in one. Like, I don't know. I would ask, but I don't think she's in earshot. But it was like 3 weeks ago. I like just keyboard dead, done. And it was a good sturdy keyboard, weighed a ton. It was awesome. Nope, toast. I'm live now. Well, welcome to the live stream. All right, let's get to it. We got to go. Disney does dumb thing. Yeah. Well, that dumb thing was called Lightyear. And you know what? Snoop wasn't having it. Snoop isn't having it. Torched Disney Pixar. In fact, here's the story. Let's just read it. From our friends over at That Park Place, Marvin Montanaro writes, Snoop Dogg torches Disney Pixar as rap legend Blindsided by Lightyear 2 mom scene. Says, I didn't come for this. Nobody did, bro. That's why the film flopped. Wild. Hey, Rogue Thinkers here. Greetings and hello. Anyway, so Snoop goes on here in a minute to say some things we're going to get to. But one of the biggest names in entertainment takes aim at Disney. People notice. Yes, they do. That's exactly what happened this week when Snoop Dogg, the rap legend and cultural icon, openly criticized the Disney Pixar film Lightyear for inserting a same-sex parent subplot into what was marketed as a children's adventure. See, this is the picture I stole and put him in for the thumbnail. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, his comments quickly went viral, igniting a cultural firestorm and raising fresh questions about Disney's insistence on injecting divisive political messaging into family films. That makes sense, right? I mean, you don't really, there are ages where you're just not going to be wanting to have conversations about human stupidity. And I'm not saying that same-sex marriages are that. What I'm saying is that we have these types of issues that should not be something that have to be explained to children at younger ages. Eventually, kids will be exposed to all of this stuff, and they'll have to be explained at some point in time. But there's just marketing this as a family film is not accurate. So Snoop Dogg says, I didn't come for this stuff. I cleaned it up for you. Appearing on the It's Giving podcast, Snoop explained how the infamous scene created an awkward moment for him while watching the film with his grandson. When the boy innocently asks, Papa Snoop, how'd she have a baby with a woman? Wow. Leave it to kids. The rapper admitted he was blindsided. His blunt, great use of a word, response pulled no punches. I didn't come for this stuff, Snoop said. I just came to watch the gosh darn movie. Man, it's hard to clean up Snoop, isn't it? Snoop, cuz Lightyear. Snoop. Anyway. Snoop continued saying the scene threw him for a loop and left him scared to go to the movies now because children naturally have questions parents and grandparents may not be ready or willing to answer in a theater setting. Disney's push and Pixar's defense. The controversial scene in Lightyear depicts Alicia Hawthorne, a fellow space ranger, and her wife raising a child. While brief, the kiss between the two moms was trumpeted as Pixar's historic first overt same sex relationship in animation. Notice how they use all those qualifiers? Very well. Anyway, the move backfired. Not only did the movie underperform the box office, that's a kind way to say flopped, terminally flopped. It became a flashpoint in Disney's ongoing culture wars, which Iger is responsible for. The scene was initially cut, then reinstated after employee protests and activist pressure during the height of Florida's parental rights legislation battle. At the time, Pixar and its cast publicly celebrated the decision. Chris Evans, a known idiot who voiced Buzz Lightyear, famously called critics of the scene idiots. Well, there you go. Turnabout's fair play. And insisted the real truth is those people are going to die off like dinosaurs. No. No. And your level of ignorance, Chris, and your empowerment of certain people is not going to help that. Disney clearly wanted to make a statement. Families, however, didn't buy it, so backlash and hypocrisy arrived. Snoop Dogg's remarks come at a time when Disney's creative decisions are already under scrutiny. Lightyear bombed so badly that Pixar leadership reportedly adjusted future projects like Inside Out 2, we saw the results of that, to tone down the character presentation after seeing audiences reject Lightyear's forced messaging. That's right, because she was supposed to have a interest in ladies in this film. Now, with a high profile celebrity calling Disney out in such raw terms, critics of the company's strategy have more ammunition. The optics are hard to ignore, and entertainment icon with decades of mainstream credibility is siding with regular parents and grandparents, not corporate boardrooms. Yeah, because he's rolling in dough now. Guy's got his own weed enterprise. Not to mention, I guess, like, little blue pills and things like that he's selling. So, why this matters. This isn't just about Snoop Dogg. His comments reflect what millions of families have been saying for years, that they don't need or want Disney to slip ideological lectures into children's movies. Parents expect fun adventure and timeless storytelling. What they got with Lightyear was a corporate agenda dressed up as a space adventure. You know what I find, and this is something I kind of want some feedback on from you guys. I find that it depends on who is talking about things from a cultural perspective, has a lot to do with how it's received. If Snoop had come and said this 2 years ago at a time when we were at the height of this garbage and all of us were kind of pushing back on it, that would have helped massively. Gollum says the right answer to the question. Thank you, Gollum. And Bea Kasai, thanks for being here. But yeah, I mean, I think that I think it is the messenger. I think it has to be, especially on stuff like this. So it's important for when people push back. It's why the reaction to the silly jeans ad that Sydney Sweeney did. It's why that was like absolute a rise of people panicking because they're going to lose control of that part of their message. We no, you're healthy at any size. Ignore the fact that all these overeaters that do whatever they do to overeat, and then they were an influencer for 5 minutes, and then they're not alive anymore. It's just a different. It's like we can't pretend that that's healthy. I'm too heavy right now. I know that. So I've been working very hard to not to get rid of that weight, because the visceral fat that is there will kill you. Wrap it around your organs and things like that. Not great. But if, like you said, if Snoop had said something 2 years ago, or it had been publicized 2 years ago, we might have gotten where we are just starting to get now. We might have already been like there, right? It would be much less divisiveness and all of that. In the broader sense, Six, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he has a ton of reach, and saying something like this at an earlier time frame would have certainly changed things. Mark Daly says, "What bizarre hellscape is this where a gangster rapper is the voice of sanity?" It's strange, right, Mark? And again, I mean, I grew up at a time when rap was coming together, and I loved it, hip hop and like all of that, you know. Um, and I had a group of people that I thought were fantastic at what they did. I maybe didn't like their actual lifestyle. I can say Easy E was, kind of a problem, but just incredible artist at the time. You know what? You're right, Leif Erikson. You never pay full price for late pizza. It's true. Never should. What's up, Meat and Bam Hammer? You should get that Uncle Ira body. Prison Uncle Ira. Be buff old man. That's the plan. I want to be. Do you know who I think's ripped? Simmons, J.J. Simmons, right? The guy that played J. Jonah Jameson and several other things. He was just in the last movie that I saw him in was The Accountant 2. He got killed off, but that dude is jacked. I want to be like that when I grow up. Morgan King wants to know when my gym's coming. No. We're not quite ready to show off the physique. No. What's his name? J.K. Simmons. Thank you, Sir Gods. Thank you. Not Richard Simmons. J.K. Simmons. I said J.J. Simmons, I think. And I will never not think of Richard Simmons without thinking of the night that Roland the Wretched came on for a watch party dressed exactly like Richard Simmons. I think it was a Christmas episode watch party. Yes, that one's great. It's somewhere in the archives. I think you could find it over on the Comics Division website. So there's that. Yeah. Hey, ghost of Freddie Mercury's immune system. Wow. That's amusing. All right. Six, stop. You're going to blind people. Do not do this. You should try to get a jacked up fitness promo like Crowder. There you go. Maybe that'll go viral. Yeah. All right. Well, we got one last story I want to get to before I roll you over to my friends. It's Salty Nerd Podcast. Almost said Smoking Nerd Podcast. I did not get a lot of sleep last night, guys. Let's jump over to another Disney disaster that other people have been covering. They probably even talked about it on a lot of your favorite shows in the last 3 days because it's been quite the story. And I don't think it's going away because I don't think Disney has a handle on what they need to do to bring back their masculine audience. Because what they've been doing is a giant middle finger to all of us for a long time, even to some of the ladies. Consider this. Disney is scrambling to win back men and boys after driving them away from Marvel and Star Wars. So they spent $4 billion on each of these properties. Marvel, they definitely paid for. Star Wars, still underwater. They have not had anything that has proven terribly successful. when you compare how much they spent to produce the films, the Star Wars land, the Star Cruiser, and everything else, and how much they've got in return. Because nobody can point to me where you have any earnings from streaming directly tied to any of these things. You just don't. Your viewership doesn't support that conversation. So Disney's been accused of alienating men and boys, the very audience that once made Marvel and Star Wars the global juggernauts that they became, and that's all true. Now, according to Variety exclusive, the company is quietly admitting its mistake. Well, I don't think they wanted this to go public. I think Penske Media kicked them in the teeth on this one, and I don't think they wanted this to get out just yet. They can't run away from it. It's absolutely true. Everything we've been saying to them has fallen on deaf ears, and here we are years later with completely a lost generation, Gen Z males and boys between the ages of 13 and 28, who Disney's been pushing away for years because they pushed away their dads and their grandparents, who were huge fans of both of these things. And if you push away the parents and the grandparents, they're less likely to take their kids to experience any of these other things. And eventually the kids catch on for the various reasons. Perhaps they watch one of us here in the fellowship and realize this is a shadow of what it used to be. And for some reason, it's all gynocentric. There's the word everybody loves. Now, the revelation is stunning, not only for what it says about Disney's current crisis, but for the fact that it comes straight from one of the most establishment friendly, Hollywood trade outlets. Well, I have to say that there is a love-hate relationship between Disney and Penske Media at times. They both need each other, but sometimes it's okay to take a shot, and this might have been one of them. I just have to say I'm not surprised uh, that this is happening. We have to acknowledge that something shifted in the culture, and the pendulum had already started to swing back, maybe as far back as 2 years ago. And as it picked up momentum, it started to pick up people making realizations around the conversations that had been happening for such a long time, whether it be here or on the Green Machine, on X, or almost any other place. Personalities, creators, entire shows have been built around the idea that, the culture and the civilization, by association, has been under attack and needed to be, well, rescued, freed, whatever term you want to use. So, years of pushing Marvel and Star Wars for girls because of the absolute framework for which they had become built, especially for Marvel after Endgame when Feige installed the Feige female framework, which meant everything was all women all the time. Find me a Marvel film outside of things controlled by Sony that weren't female centric. And one of the things that I think is very telling is the performance of films like that. The ones that are disassociated from female centric, gynocentric, whatever term you want to use, those films did well. The ones, post Captain Marvel, not so much. So it wasn't that long ago that Marvel and Lucasfilm were cultural staples for men and boys. Fathers brought their sons to Iron Man and The Force Awakens with the same sense of excitement that other generations had for Indiana Jones or Empire Strikes Back. But the Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, Kathleen Kennedy trilogy of evil um, shifted that entire approach. And we got the blood smear that was The Acolyte, focusing on a lesbian coven of witches that gave birth unnaturally to two witches that both were full of it. Superheroes and Jedi were reimagined, reshaped, in many cases sidelined, as the studio rebranded its most valuable franchise to appeal to female audiences instead. The problem is they forgot that they'd already gotten the female audience, the particular type of character, and they could have just kept it. They chose not to. They chose to instead shun the boys, turn everything female centric. And it wasn't a small adjustment, as Marvin says here. It was the company-wide strategy. Captain Marvel was positioned to be the face of Marvel. How did that work out? She's still there. That revolves around a conversation I had yesterday live with all of you prior to Friday Night Tights, talking about Brie Larson and whether or not we've treated her too harshly. Was it her character? Was it the company she was working for? Was it a poor PR? Was it all the above that made us come to dislike her so? And was she worth a little bit of justice? I make the argument for justice, second chance, and all of that. But some people made some good arguments for, you know what, she's toast. Maybe so. But Luke Skywalker was completely dismantled. He forced himself too hard, like he was Elvis on the toilet. What a terrible way to send off a classic and very important character. This is basically the center of the franchise, as George has talked about long before. Not to mention the fact that George also happened to mention that never forget that Star Wars is for 12-year-old boys. Yeah, they forgot that. Disney leadership may have thought this was expanding the tent. Instead, it narrowed it. Boys who grew up idolizing Iron Man and Han Solo increasingly felt like guests at their own party. And if you get to be into your 50s, like me, you were, well, an unwanted guest at that. The variety bombshell was, well timed, as everything that Disney's done recently has been a dramatic failure. I mean, absent, again, Deadpool and Wolverine and a couple of Pixar films, not a lot of success there in the stuff they've released, especially in Star Wars and most especially in Marvel. So people aren't even bothering to go. What can you guys think of a Marvel movie you're excited to see? There's 2 or 3 coming. Are you gonna get super stoked for Doomsday or Secret Wars? I don't know about that. Disney's self-inflicted wound. Yeah, the problem for Disney is not that girls and women watch Marvel or Star Wars. They always have. You guys always have. So I don't know what they thought they were expanding. If you want a big tent, you don't abandon the people you already have. And that's Kathleen Kennedy's short-sightedness because she's adult. Well, we don't want the 50-year-old guys. We want the people that like our stuff now. Nobody likes your stuff now. Ignoramus. Anyway, it is what it is. The original IP or corporate panic. Well, first of all, there's no original IP, and there's nothing you can go out there and buy that's going to be the size or scope or scale of Marvel or Star Wars. Iger, you already bought them. There's nothing left like that. You can't get access to One Piece. I think Universal has theme park and all of that. Obviously, Netflix has got a great work on their series. You got nothing, dude. And you're never going to get anything. You should have run away when you did the first time because you knew what was coming in China. And that's why you bailed out of Disney when you did. This is going to be really bad and put Disney in bad shape for a couple of years. So I'm going to run away and put the bald guy in charge, which is, he didn't really get to be in charge ever. Not even for that 10-month period that we like to think that he actually did things. Bob never moved out of his office. He wanted to keep his 2 showers a day to himself, stay far away from Aunt Willow, which, as she gets older, maybe there's a reason for that. Anyway, enough of that. I was just like, this story hit at the right time, and it happened in the worst place for Disney, right in the center of Hollywood tabloids. Trade papers, they would like to call them. They're all tabloids, incapable of dropping the truth or even recognizing it, which is why they can't look at a film that opens $100 million down from where their expectation was and admit that this is going to flop spectacularly. The rest of us can say it. When it does, we say, I told you so. And you have to change everything that you said before in a way that makes you not look like an idiot. Anyway, sorry about that. I easily get on ragey, ranty tangents with stuff like that. I missed this a while ago. Sorry about that. Archer Merchant followed up with thanks for the early kind words. Next stop, Hollywood. Also, I'm curious, do you think moving to UK will backfire since they don't hide production cost. I think it's going to. Disney did the worst possible thing they could have done, moving the majority of their production, especially for Marvel, to the UK. This is a terrible disaster. You should sublease the space that you have in the UK. Let other people make the mistake of turning to public all of the things that you don't want them to see, like your budgets. They're not going to be able to hide what Snow White actually costs. We're nowhere near. They weren't even close to telling you the honest truth when it came to how much Snow White cost. They remade the film 3 times. I'm sorry. Or I should say they remade the film twice after they flubbed the first time. So they made it 3 times. Think about how many summers that bratty Rachel Zegler had to spend in the UK. Think about how many times they had to change the story. They had to change the magical creatures, let's say. They had to redo the storyline. It's insane. But thank you for that, Archer. I appreciate it. Flying Blind on a rocket cycle says, hi, Culture and chat. Just happened across the stream and wanted to say hi. Thank you, my friend. It is so great to see you. I really do wish I had that like flying rocket thing that Pro does, but maybe I'll make him play it again for you when I see you on Tuesday. Let's see. Tony Piacente out there for 5 more. Culture Casino Cash. Thank you, Tony Piacente. Piacente saying, honestly, there isn't any Hollywood movie I'm excited for. Maybe I'm just getting old. I look forward to films. I really wish I was looking forward to Tron Ares, but I'm just kind of looking at that one with dread. I'm having the same feelings about seeing it that I did about Captain Anti-America. And that's not good. That's not good. By the way, Tony Piacente gifted 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, Tony, for that. We've got gifties, meaning a lot of people joined the club. Welcome to the Culturians, friends. Stay with us. You will be very glad that you did. Now, for those of you, again, who are here just finding the show, finding the channel, perhaps double check down in the comments section or just above it and look to see if that little red subscribe button has been turned to gray. If it says subscribe, click it and then turn on all of the notifications on the notification bell and hit the thumbs up button while you're down there. And for those of you who are regulars and you haven't hit the thumbs up button just yet, why? Come on. Let's do it. Let's see what's up there. I don't see anything else. So I do see that we have a lot of great people in our chat. I want to say thank you for an extraordinary show today. Sorry to punish you with the little ranty bits, but I do that sometimes. Lasher says, I do want to see Tron. Well, there you go. I am going to go see Dakota Johnson and the new rom-com thing that she's doing this weekend. I just forgot the name of it. Yeah, Jared Leto's a bad plan, right, Weatherman? No bueno. Hey, Peter's here. Peter says, new Tron movie looks awesome. I am full of dread. And a lot of it is based on Jared Leto, but a lot of it's just based on the fact that it's Disney. So if they can screw up Tron completely, this is the third, probably last movie, this is going to happen. Yeah. Jared ruined Joker. Probably. Snakes is like, rant away. I did. Yeah. Sign up for Culture Casino membership. It's been 36 months since the last High Rollers stream. I just did it. If I wish Hoove was here to defend me, I just did one. What are you talking about? Six is like, it's called Splitsville. Thank you. This is the Dakota Johnson movie, Splitsville. You probably did. You probably did. I am a terrible host. I should be punished. Should be punished. Yeah. Six is bragging about getting sleep last night. I wish. I think I slept 2 hours, maybe a little more. So, but on that note, we got to go because we've got my friends over at the Salty Nerd podcast starting up in 2 minutes. And I think the outro's that long. Let me see. Do we have an outro? We do. On that note, I'll say it this way. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. And until next time, Ayo. Ayo. I think. Maybe.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.